Hey, how's it going everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 Mods Weekly, the show where we recap some of the really cool mods to be released in the past week. And oh my god, has it been a week. We've gotten so many new mods, and not only that, but they're all very, very good quality. So we have 10 brand new mods packed into this video, and I gotta say I'm excited for every single one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, as we've got a whole lot of mods to look at. For starters, we have somebody who has gone ahead and taken under the task of reanimating the vanilla assault rifle, and by god have they done a great job. For reference, I'll go ahead and play the original assault rifle reload animation, which is just terrible. It's very plain, very simple, and it just doesn't look great. You pull out the mag, slam it back in, and there's not a whole lot more to it. Especially given the fact that this weapon has charging handles and all of the gibbons, the fact that they don't utilize it in the animation is just bizarre, but Estiva 2103 has gone ahead and fixed that by adding a completely brand new animation to the assault rifle, and it looks absolutely amazing. It truly does. Not to mention, it even has tactical reload support, so whether or not you have a full or a half-empty magazine, you will get different reload animations, which is just incredible. And if that wasn't enough for you, there's even a patch for my version of the assault rifle, known as the MG69, a nice little mesh replacer. Now, my model is a bit different than the vanilla assault rifle, so the animation has been tweaked slightly to fit mine a bit better. And Estiva has even made their own patch to support it, which is just awesome. Gotta say, this truly makes the assault rifle feel a whole lot better, and I think that people may start using this new animation to make some really cool remeshes of the assault rifle. New proper machine guns with side-fed magazines can really be achieved now with some really, really cool animations. Honestly, the attention to detail with this thing, utilizing the carry handle as well as the charging handle, is just incredible, and I really, really like this animation. Definitely worth giving this one a shot. Up next, we have an awesome new NPC and armor mod, and that's going to be Raiders Tribal Reforge by Azalea 10. Now, this is going to add a bunch of new armors to the Forged faction in Fallout 4, a pretty underrepresented raider faction in the game. They're only found in one area, but they are still pretty notable. They're obsessed with fire, and they're their own unique tribe of raiders, and they should have their own outfits to represent that. And so with this mod, you will get a bunch of new outfits and a bunch of new helmets that fit these forged very, very well. And they are all added to the leveled list, and you will even find new named forged enemies known as Forged Chosen and Forged Warriors that will all wear these brand new outfits. And I really, really like these. They repurpose other armor pieces, including power armor, and they have their own ornaments made out of horns and scrap, and they just look really, really cool. I like this a lot, and it makes sense for a tribal faction like this to have such a cool set of armor. I really like this, and it's definitely one that I think you should download and just leave in your load order. It spices up the Forge and makes them their own unique faction, and honestly, it just looks really nice. I'd probably even wear a couple of these helmets myself. Up next, we have our first weapon mod of this video, and that's going to be the Walther Q5 Match SF by Winter. This is going to be a pretty modern pistol with a handful of skins and some cool unique attachments over at the weapons workbench. This is another one with tactical reload support. On its own, though, you can only craft it at the chemistry station, though it does have a patch so you can add it to the leveled list, and if you do so, you will be able to find it after level 20. It does utilize the animations from the USB mod, so you will have to download that as a requirement, but if you're already using modern weapons, I have a feeling that'll be no problem, since more weapons is always better. By far, one of the features of the Walther that makes it shine compared to other mods is definitely the skins added in here. You have all kinds of really unique ones, including some Japanese-oriented ones, some gold trim, and even some Rainbow Six Siege-inspired skins. I like them a lot, and they look really, really nice. So, if you're looking for a new modern pistol, this is definitely one that's worth picking up. Good job, Winter. Now up next, we have a truly incredible power armor mod known as Bad Boys Civil Servant Power Armor Klaxons and Paint by MunkySpunk and Captain Ultima. Now, initially, I brushed this off as just a standard power armor paint pack, but that is not the case. There is definitely a lot more going on here. You do get a handful of new paints, but you also get fully functional lights that you can add to the backs of your power armor pieces. This includes every single power armor in the vanilla game, and there's a handful of new light options for each of them. You can throw on police department, fire department, EMS, and even construction lights, as well as respective paints to each of the power armors in the vanilla game, and they look incredible. They're super cool, and they're fully functional. The lights even rotate and spin as you use them, and it makes for some really cool dynamic lighting, especially at night. If you want to get your hands on these new paint jobs and lights, you will have to track down some newly added hot rod magazines. There are 4 of them to be found, and they're all scattered around the wasteland. But just like the vanilla game, once you find them, you unlock the paint jobs, and you can throw them on any power armor. As for how all of this actually works, it's not actually tied to the lights like you might think. Rather than turning the lights on, you actually have to equip your weapon, and that puts you into some sort of a, let's say, combat mode, which essentially is going to work like the Assaultron visor in the vanilla game. Go ahead and pull out your weapon and the lights will kick on. Put it away and the lights turn off. It's really cool and it just works. So now, if you've ever had any dreams of kicking down the drug den's door as a member of the Boston PD suited up in your very own special power armor, you can do so, and you can kick them down with the lights ablaze, and it's just really, really cool. This is an awesome new way to spice up power armor, and it's going to be heavily featured in a brand new quest mod that will be a sequel to The Bleachers. So stay tuned for that. This mod looks excellent. Up next, we have a pretty small mod, and that's going to be a HUD mod known as EFT HUD by LK. This is going to add a brand new HUD that is going to mimic the HUD from Escape from Tarkov, featuring some very small HUD elements, including your stamina bar as well as your map. They've all been completely redesigned. There is an ammo counter, though that is completely optional, as all of this stuff is configurable in the Fall UI menu, which will allow you to tweak things as you see fit. It also has support for the Condition Boy mod, which will show you the condition of your limbs, which I would highly recommend if you're going for an Escape from Tarkov vibe, as that game uses a similar feature to keep track of all of your limb damage. Honestly, this is a really simple one, but I do like the presentation of this mod. Additionally, one thing that it does is it hides the quick loot, so you actually have to open up inventories like classic Fallout and Skyrim, which personally I really like. I know some people like the quick loot system, but I like the idea of taking time and really paying attention to the loot, and more importantly, saving looting until after combat. Small little tangent there, but it's something I really appreciate about this mod. Definitely worth checking out if you're in the market for a new HUD, and it looks really, really nice. Up next, we have a brand new weapons pack known as the Close Quarters Pack by Pig. This is going to add 3 brand new weapons into the game: a handmade revolving shotgun, a handmade 44 auto pistol, and a handmade machine pistol chambered in 45 caliber. The goal of all of these weapons is to add some brand new makeshift weapons into the Commonwealth that looks like something that raiders and settlers would cook up on their own, and all of these work really, really nice. One of them comes with custom animations, the other 2 do not. However, you can download custom animation replacers that will work with these weapons very, very well. I would also highly recommend picking up a retexture for the pipe weapons, something like Gmoy's Makeshift Welds mod, which will allow you to have a nice, beautiful new texture for those pipe elements, as a lot of them are used in the creation of these weapons. So if you don't like that ugly copper color, I'd recommend picking up a retexture. All of these weapons will be added to the level list, so you'll be able to find them out in the world and pick them up off of different raiders, settlers, and other enemies. I really like the weapons in this pack. They're all highly customizable, and there's even a unique that you can track down known as the Smuggler's End, a reference to both Fallout 3 and Star Wars, as this is obviously heavily inspired by the DL-44 that Han Solo carries. Really cool mod, and honestly, it's worth it just for that unique. I'd highly recommend picking this one up if you're looking for some new makeshift weapons to add to your game. These are all definitely really, really cool. Up next, we actually have another mod by Pig, and that is going to be the All-Americans Outfit Pack by Pig. Now, if you're not familiar, Pig did release a quest mod known as the All-Americans, which will add a bunch of bikers and their own gang and hideout into Fallout 4, and this mod is going to be a standalone version that will only include the outfits, which are all really, really cool. These outfits are made by Default the Fixer, the same author that made the Gunner Outfit Pack, and they all look really, really great. They use a mashup of different assets to make some really cool and unique outfits, all of which, of course, are biker inspired, and they all look super cool. They all have their own unique style to them, and they're all really, really neat. And honestly, I have a feeling if you download this one, you might find one that you would be happy to use on your own character. I know I did. One thing that this mod does very, very well is it reminds me how much I enjoy Default the Fixer's work. He makes some awesome, awesome armor mods, and the same is true for this mod pack here. All of these armors are craftable over at the chemistry station. They are not added to the leveled list, as each of them has a unique name patch and is intended for a specific character, though of course you can give them out to your settlers or wear them yourself. Honestly, these are all really, really great, and I would highly recommend checking this one out if you're looking for some brand new lore-friendly outfits to add to the game. Up next, we have an absolute beauty of a weapon known as the American 180 by Nova, though you may know this as the Silenced 22 SMG from Fallout New Vegas, as that's exactly what the weapon was based off of. The Silenced 22, known as the American 180 in real life, is now back in Fallout 4 with beautiful custom animations, an amazing model, and so much customization at the weapons workbench. It's honestly overwhelming. There's so much you can do to this thing, and it's absolutely incredible. You can keep it as a wonderful retro piece of Americana, or you can deck it out with modern attachments if that's really your thing. There are tons of different ammo types that you can change out at the weapons workbench, including things like Rat Shot, which is essentially a full auto shotgun. You can throw on explosive rounds, hollow points, full metal jacket, all kinds of stuff, and it's all over there. And you can even change out what kind of 22 it shoots, whether you want 22 long rifle or 22 short magnum. And they're going to have their own respective damages and their own craftable ammo types for each version. This weapon is, of course, added to the leveled list, and you can find it out in the world on Gunners, Raiders, and Triggermen, or of course you can purchase it or even craft it over at the chemistry station. Speaking of which, that's where you're going to be able to craft the brand new 22 caliber ammo type, so definitely worth heading over there. You can craft a whole lot for not a lot of resources, as you're going to need a lot of bullets. This weapon has a pretty incredibly low damage, but a very, very high fire rate and a huge magazine capacity. One of the magazines can get you up to about, I believe, 300 rounds. So you're definitely going to be spending this 22 ammunition very, very quick. But it is a whole lot of fun to use. Honestly, this is one of the most fun ballistic firearms that I think you can download right now. So it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you want some more lore-friendly weapons for your game. Awesome work by Nova. This has been a whole lot of fun to watch develop, and I'm so happy that it's now available as a public release. Up next, we actually have another weapon pack, and that's going to be the Smith & Wesson pack by Tangent24. This mod's going to add 6 new pistols into the game, all of which from the Smith & Wesson brand, 5 of which are revolvers, and 1 is the semi-automatic M&P 9. Now, most of these revolvers aren't super customizable over at the weapons workbench, but they do provide very accurate representations of their real-life models. One of the revolvers, known as the R8, even has some really special traits, like the fact that it has 8 rounds in the cylinder and does have the option to throw on some different attachments that the other revolvers don't have access to. Additionally, the M&P 9 is highly customizable as a new modern pistol, so of course it has all of the bells and whistles over at the weapons workbench, so you can really customize this thing to your liking. All of these weapons do use vanilla animations, but of course that means you can add your own custom replacers that you download on the Nexus. Since the M&P 9 uses the Deliverer animations, you can of course download a whole bunch of different animation options, and since the revolvers use the 44, there's a handful of options there as well. Personally, I'd recommend something like the Battlefield 4 revolver reanimation, but you can choose whatever you'd like. All of these weapons look really, really nice in-game, and honestly just add a bunch of new variety to the pistols that you can use in Fallout 4. So definitely recommend picking this one up if you're a revolver fan, or you just want some more weapon variety. All of these weapons are, of course, added to the level list, so you'll find them all over the Commonwealth, and you can add your own Smith & Wessons to your collection in-game. Pretty cool stuff. And finally, that takes us to our last mod, which is actually something by me. The Handmade Lover Action Shotgun is finally out, complete with leveled list integration, a bunch of attachments, and of course, a new unique and a quest to follow it up. So if you download this mod now, you'll not only get a brand new version of the Lever Action Shotgun, which is completely handmade using scrap parts. You will also get a brand new unique energy variant that shoots out plasma-infused shotgun shells by completing a very, very small quest. Information about that is all in the full review as well as on the mod page. This is one of the weapons that does use vanilla animations, but of course has support for any animation replacers that you download. So if you want to use something like the right-handed animations, this weapon actually works with it automatically. Download the animation and it just works. Additionally, it does have support for the bullet counted reload mod, though keep in mind if you're going to use a custom animation, you will have to get the patch between the animation as well as bullet counted reload. So if it doesn't work, look there first. I think I've talked about this shotgun enough as it is, having posted a ton of dev updates as well as the full breakdown, so we'll go ahead and call it there. Lots of good mods for you guys to check out this week, so I'd highly recommend you go and download some of these if you're able. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Really fun making this one, lots of cool stuff to look at, and honestly, really happy to see the modding community is still thriving. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to drop a rating. Consider subscribing if you haven't already for more videos just like this one. Check the description down below for links to every single mod, as well as Xbox releases if they are available. While you're down there, you can consider checking out the Patreon. It is completely optional, but I do want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons for supporting every single video. And a special thank you to YouthRC, Jackie Noid, and Helljumper2077. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining in on that Tier 3 patron membership. You guys are awesome. I definitely don't deserve the support that all of you guys give me, not only on the Patreon, but watching here as well. I love you guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.
I don't understand, like, the pain you put me through every day.
Are you gonna
Like,
say?
every
Are you
day
gonna say
I
the
wake
line?
up
Pig, are you
I
gonna say the
wake
line,
up and
Pig? Pig, are you gonna say the line?
what line am I gonna say?
You're ruining this.
What line am I gonna say? I'm gonna say, oh, the close quarters weapons package